So whenever you're ready.
Hello, I'm Peter Richards. We're here at the Comedy Night at Brunel University Academy. I'm here with Cal Donnelly.
Hello.
The headline night.
Yeah.
Just doing a quick interview before.
Let's do it. Let's do the interview.
Let's do it. We'll just start off with the obligatory question for comedians, which is, how did you get into comedy?
I don't know actually. I wasn't really. Like, some people were real fans of comedy and they just always wanted to do it. I didn't. I'd never been to live comedy or anything until I was 21, and then went to a live comedy gig just with some mates, and it was the best thing I'd ever seen. So off the back of that, I thought I need to try that. I think most people when they first watch stand-up think that looks really good, whereas I watched it thinking I don't want to do that. So I just had this weird thing, and then I built up the courage in about 18 months when I did my first gig, and then that was it. That was the rest of my life sorted.
Comedy.
How did I get into comedy? I still ask that every day. It wasn't really a planned thing. I was at Cardiff Uni doing a degree I was bad at and I hated, and then sort of wanted something to fill my time. There's a Welsh comic called Ellis James. He's a very, very funny man who kind of dragged me to an open spot. I saw him in a cafe with about 3 people.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone else who was on the bill was quite bad, and I thought I could give that a go. So Ellis kind of booked me in, and a month later I did one because of him. Basically, that's kind of what it was. I hadn't planned it. I had no idea of stand-up, but he booked me in, and then about a month later, I did my first gig. So it wasn't I didn't know anything about comedy. I didn't have a TV till I was 15, so I knew nothing about like stand-up or anything really at all. I'd never been to a stand-up gig, and it wasn't anything I was really aware of. But just kind of went to this first gig, saw my friend, and thought it was cool, so I gave it a go. So that's, there's no kind of drug-addled backstory there going, oh God, I needed it, I needed comedy, I needed something to get me out of my heroin problem. It wasn't like that, it was just went along, thought, might as well, got nothing better to do. Exactly.
Sorry, we've done it, isn't it? That's Tom Craine, your first act. Can we see what he's saying? Yeah. Hello, Tom. I'm still on stage, mate. Hang on.
So one thing I'm interested in, because I'm from the north of England,
Okay.
in case you're not noticed.
I would have guessed.
Is there any difference between the sort of sense of humour from places where you've been?
There is. That's interesting. To some extent, there is, but it's more kind of in the type of gig you do in a city, which is kind of affects what will go down well.
Yeah,
so, like a student
student
crowd
now,
is entirely different to if I'm doing a sea of hen and stags, and people are kind of, downing WKD and they're blowing up sex dolls throughout the evening. Those sort of gigs are entirely different. So I think it's more kind of where you are in the city, which kind of is particular, as opposed to which city you're in. The Edinburgh Festival itself, I suppose, is the one difference to that, because it expects a different type of comedy. Like every year we take up a show, like an hour show expects like a narrative and some kind of personal development and kind of revelation, as opposed to just banging out gags. So there is a difference there, I think, but that's just kind of the culture of the festival. But in general, as I say, there's not that much difference. It's just kind of where you are in a city. That's kind of what matters.
Yeah, that's true. Well, here at students now, sort of, I don't know, what do you think of students then? Are they sort of more puerile, or have you been to because you say you've been to Cardiff. I don't know how students are around the country. I've met so many.
Are they more puerile? I don't know really. It's kind of, when you say puerile, do they like cheap jokes, do you mean? Or
knob jokes, really.
Knob jokes, right, we all like a good knob joke, don't we? Not really. It kind of depends. Like Freshers' Weeks can be. I do a lot of Freshers' gigs, and they can be mental because everyone's completely off their tits and has no idea what's going on, and there's probably snogged 7 people in the 2 days they've been there. So it's a different atmosphere. But when the term kind of settles in, you can do a different type of comedy. So like I did Keele University, like refreshers thing at the beginning of this year, and that was mental. But then literally a fortnight later, you could do a uni gig elsewhere, and it's kind of settled down, and people are back into lectures and stuff like this. So it has a different atmosphere. But they're normally a good laugh, and they're also quite bright crowds as well. Quite switched on and intelligent, and you have to dumb down. Not that so I like them. I like student crowds. They seem to suit me.
Yes,
it's good fun. It remains to be seen, doesn't it? This interview's been done before the gig, so by the time you watch this, I could have died on my arse for like 40 minutes.
Not speaking to anyone.
No, okay. Right.
Well, you've been at the Edinburgh Fringe, and now you're at Brunel University.
That's it. This is the one. This is the big boy.
I'm just wondering about the crowds. Do you ever feel there's a difference between like Edinburgh Fringe? Everybody's there. You just got students here tonight. Do you feel different? Do you feel the crowd?
Every type of audience is different now. Like this, I mean, the uni gig would be different to playing like the Comedy Store in London, or club gigs are different to theatre gigs, and theatre gigs are different, and festival gigs are completely different.
Comedians do this trick where you always start strong and end strong. They always put their best joke at the end, second best joke at the start, right? It's called bookending. Because what you're doing is making people forget about the bits in the middle that might have been when you're fucking around with some new stuff or whatever, right? Might not work. So you bookend it with the best stuff to make it all look good, because your brain has got a mental trick where you think, oh, it was all funny, I remember laughing at the start and the end, right? But I've come up with this style because I'm honest and I'm not cynical, right? What I like to do is start weak and then peter out.
So where was your first gig? What sort of venue was it?
It was at a it was a new acts competition called the Muse Moose Laugh Off, which I didn't realise that most people enter when they've been doing it a while and they're really good. And I rocked up my first time like, wee, and I didn't get through. But so it was just it was alright though for a first time. I think it was pretty good. I didn't have like the worst gig of the night, which I think gave me that little push of going, you might actually be able to do this.
Yeah, might as well, yeah. So you're quite famous. You've been around a bit. You've been on our TV screens.
Quite famous is right. I'd say I'm very, very mildly famous.
Very mildly famous.
Yeah, and I keep changing my image, so no one knows.
Yeah, I've noticed your throws come down from my stomach.
That's what happens every time I get on TV. I change my image after it, so I could never actually attain a level of fame. It's always sort of at one point, only a small number of people know who I am. Just don't like being famous, isn't it?
One thing I do want to mention is I love your elbow patches on your sweater. I've got to say,
Thank you very much.
One thing I always wonder about comedians is some who wear suits. You're here with elbow patches and chinos.
Yeah. I'm quite chilled. I'm quite lazy, really.
Chilled,
I like
that.
T-shirts, and I can't be bothered with dressing up and suits, all that sort of business. I'm just quite a lazy man. I mean, look at my hair. It's ridiculous. Just kind of, scruff it, run out the house, and that's kind of it. That's all I can deal with. I haven't got an iron for a start, so you've got to have shirts, all that sort of nonsense.
I can't do it for the life of me.
I can't be bothered with that. Yeah. It's no. Do you think I should? Do you think I need a look? Should I Noel Fielding up? Should I be kind of like a?
Well, I'm quite happy. Look, you got Adidas on chinos.
You're quite happy with this.
I'm happy with that. That's my review.
It's that phrase. I'm quite happy. Suggests that if I dress differently, you wouldn't be willing to watch me do my set. It's kind of I'm all right. I will go and watch him. He's dressed suitably.
Just a comedian on his pants. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Quite.
Basil? Really? Fucking wicked name, mate. What do you pair that bad boy up? What's your surname? Basil's your surname? Simon Basil? Fuck, you sound like a celebrity chef.
You've been on TV quite a bit. You've been on sort of a few talking head shows. You've been on Mock the Week, I believe.
I've been on Mock the Week twice.
So, do you feel more comfortable doing your stand-up, or do you like being on the panel?
I prefer to stand up. That's the thing. I've only done Mock the Week twice, and both times the bit I enjoy the most is the bit where you get up to do stand up on your own. Because it's the one bit you're in total control of. Like if it's a panel thing, you might think it's something really funny, and just you're about to say it, somebody else says something that is similar, or they might have thought up a similar idea, so you just can't do it. So like on Mock the Week, sometimes it looks like you're not saying much, whereas in truth I was thinking loads of funny things. I just didn't get a chance to say them out loud. But the stand-up bit is just all yours, isn't it? It's where you get to show what you can do.
Yeah. How do you feel? Do you feel the audience reaction sort of changes the way you tell your jokes, or do you just sort of?
In live terms, yeah. I think in Mock the Week, you get such a small period of time. You just got to do it and just hope they like it. But if you're doing like tonight here, I'm doing like 45-minute set or something. You can just relax into it and just play off them, and so you can just play it by ear almost. Whereas on TV, it's a lot more. You just got to really be slick and as quick as you can.
So when you get onto the stage, do you feel more relaxed on the stage than you are before you go on? Do you get butterflies before, whatever?
That's a hard one to say, really. It kind of the first 2 or 3 minutes of a set dictate how relaxed you feel often.
Right.
If you hit the stage and then straight away it's up and running, then you can just kind of relax into it. But sometimes, it can be like, you're working to get the energy in a room depending on where you are. So that's kind of very much, once again, a gig to gig. I get nervous beforehand. Of course I do. I think it's healthy. It makes you think about it and kind of at least, put some effort into it rather than just being really blasé. And a lot of my favourite comedians, big names, get very, very nervous beforehand. It's not kind of an unusual thing. I think it can be healthy as well. Bit of nerves, it's a good thing. Yeah,
they do say that. Well, Tom, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Look forward to your gig here at the Academy.
Thank you very much. Yeah, cool. Will you be kind of talking about this afterwards? Will you be referencing how I did? Will you say he did all right for 5 minutes, then it went horribly wrong? People started heckling about his elbow patches. It was kind of...
I'll say the first 2-3 minutes are good, but then he got into a bit cocky.
You've seen him before. That's good.
In High Street, right? We run in 200, mainly men, run into the road, a bus is coming down the street, it obviously stops, that'd be a horrific story if it's plowed through. It killed 180 people, but there's 20 of us there, fucking right old day, right?
do you prepare for students specifically when you've got a student audience?
I don't really prepare. Like, I mean, no, I don't mean that in that sense. I mean, like, I don't plan the set to be tailored to them. I'll go on with like an idea in my head of the things I want to say, and based on how they react, I'll then tailor it. So I sort of don't work it out before. I mean, I've got loads of material, but how I do it on a night, what order, or what new bits I say, or if I just start making stuff up, all depends on how they react.
Right. Fair enough.
It's risky, isn't it? It's risky.
Yeah, well, we look forward to your act. I'm sure I'll have a good laugh, Carl.
It should be fun.
Pleasure speaking to you.
Cheers, man.
We'll enjoy Carl's act here at the Comedy Night at Brunel Academy.
Double thumbs.
Double thumbs.